the skills, be the boss. No more time to feel lost. Lead the way every day. Find success, it's here to stay. Rise and shine, it's your time. Skill up, raise the climb. Navigate, innovate. It's your fate, don't be late. Get the skills, be the boss. No more time to feel lost. Lead the way every day. Find success, it's here to stay.
If you're a new manager or hoping to be a new manager, join us in our exploration into what managers need to know. This program will set you up for success by building your knowledge and confidence in the skills you need to be effective. Hello, and welcome to What Managers Need to Know About Presentation Skills. This is the last of our 5-session series on presentation skills. We began on the first session by having you assess your own presentation skills. In the second session, we had you assess the audience's interests, knowledge, attitude toward what you were going to present. In the third session, we helped you plan the presentation. If it was controversial, you wanted to give all the background before you brought people, hopefully along with your logic, to your main point. If it was non-controversial, there were different ways to set it up so that you hit the main point first and then supported it in a variety of different ways. Then we moved to week 4, where we checked your posture, your presence, and your projection. We talked about how to handle your anxiety, since most people do get very nervous when they're going to make a presentation. And today we tie it up by looking at making it memorable. So, how to make an effective presentation. Look at your audience, and that means looking at various people in the audience, not looking over their heads, which is an old advice that is no longer appropriate. Speak, don't read to the audience. So if you're going to have index cards in your hand, make sure that you have numbered them. Make sure that they just have the key points and it's written large so that you can look down and see them. Repeat particularly significant points. Repetition will help the audience catch on and remember what's important. Speak clearly, distinctly, and understandably. If you are someone who can practice in front of a camera, in front of audio tape, in front of a mirror, let me back up. If you can practice it and catch your voice, then you can check to see if you are being clear and distinct. Now, be very careful. There are some of us who can test it out, practice it over and over, and then sound fresh when we are giving the actual presentation. There's others of us who can get very confused about whether we've already said it because we've practiced it so much. So find out which you are. Follow the natural pitch of your voice and use acceptable pronunciation and grammar. Be thinking about what makes sense, what knowledge, what language, what vernacular, what vocabulary your audience knows, and avoid using jargon and acronyms because they won't know what those things mean. Make sure that each person in the audience can hear you. Before you do a presentation, before people have come into the room, if you have that capability. Check. Make sure that you have somebody at different parts of the audience where the audience would be sitting. Make sure your voice will be heard. And if you have a light voice, if you don't project very much, then make sure you have a lavalier mic and put it in the center of whatever it is you're wearing. Because if you put it to the side, then when you move your head to the other side, it's not going to catch what you're saying. Don't be afraid to pause. Let people have thoughts sink in. You don't have to rush through everything you're saying. Use natural body movement and gestures. Now, there are those of us who speak with their hands, and if you do, don't worry about that. Because if you try to stop yourself from making natural gestures, you're going to be kind of herky-jerky. You put your hands in your pockets, you're just not going to look comfortable. So allow yourself to be comfortable and don't worry about your movements. Now, if you have planned movements, make sure they don't look planned. Involve the audience, asking questions and raising your hand so that people know they can raise their hand. Speaking to the audience, mentioning names of people in the audience. If you've had the opportunity to introduce yourself as people are coming into the audience, then use their names, look at them. Use visuals where needed. If you're going to use a PowerPoint, then don't do what I'm doing. Don't have all the text up there. Have a picture, have a few bullet points. Walk to the front of the room with poise and self-confidence. We talked on the previous session about how taking a deep breath, doing a large body yawn before you get in front of the audience can relax you. Having a glass of water that you're holding on to can help you stay calm. Capture the audience's attention and interest immediately. Now, don't do what I mentioned a colleague did. Her pantyhose fell down, and as she was stepping out of it, she had all the naval cadets' attention rigidly focused on her. That's not what we're talking about. Have a hook, have a story, have something that relates to what you're going to be talking about so you get their interest right away. Avoid mannerisms. These are things that you have practiced, and they look practiced and they look unnatural. Don't do that. Close. Don't just stop speaking. What we don't want is after you have made a wonderful presentation for you to say something like, well, I guess that's it. Because all the energy goes out of you, all the energy goes out of the audience. They're not interested in listening to you and remembering because it appears that you don't really care. Go out with the bang. Now, in the future, assess your next presentation. Do you have a strong opening? Is the purpose clearly stated? Now, that doesn't mean you get to the main point right away. It depends on what the focus is of your presentation. If you're trying to convince a hostile audience for something, you're not going to get right to the point, but you're going to say, I'm going to be talking about this issue. There's a clear pattern of organization. There's a beginning, there's a middle, there's an end, there's a close, a call to action. Transitions are clear. You don't just jump from topic to topic. There is a logical flow from one thing to the next. There's support for the information. If you're saying something, can you document that? Can you reference some reference or some facts? Is your voice clear, varied, and interesting? And that's why doing a bit of practice where you are taping your voice so you can listen and hear is helpful. Again, be aware if you practice too much, for some of us, that can be devastating. We don't sound fresh when we get in front of the group. The presentation helped solve the audience's problems and met their needs, even if the audience didn't realize they had those problems and needs when they got there, because they're always thinking, what's in it for me? And you want to be speaking to that. You kept their attention and got them involved by even asking rhetorical questions. How many of you have ever X? They're thinking about that. Or think back to a time when you, and have them do a brief visualization, because you're asking them to remember something that would be easy for them to access. Your gestures, mannerisms, and posture were confident. We talked about this last week. Do not hold on to the podium, white-knuckled. Get away from that if you can at all possible. Move throughout the stage. Don't pace, just move throughout the stage so you don't feel that all your energy is bottled up. Watch your posture. Don't get into this kind of victim stance. And make sure that you are speaking from your diaphragm so they can hear you, or you're using a mic so they can. Smile and make eye contact with the audience. And there we're talking about two particular faces in the audience. And be aware that many of us, if we're right-handed, we tend to focus on the right side of the audience as we're facing it. Make sure that you look to all sides of the audience as well as the middle. You summarized key points. The conclusion was strong and memorable. You included a call to action. And the presentation was helpful, interesting, and persuasive. Let's talk. If you would like help in creating an effective presentation, please schedule time to speak with me for a free consultation, either using the URL there or the QR code. Both will get you to my calendar. Next week, we begin a whole new topic, which is managing meetings. We're going to be looking at what you do to begin the meeting, to manage participants, when you're the facilitator of that meeting, what your role is. We have two parts to that, because you've got the beginning, the middle, the end, the before, the after. All of those have different roles for you to play, or different responsibilities for you to fulfill if you are running a meeting. And then concluding the meeting. And what we want to make sure is that that meeting was useful and was necessary. And a decision was made that is now going to be implemented, and the implementation plan is clear, and everyone knows what's expected, what the deadlines are, etc. So please join us. If you happen to run a meeting, will be running a meeting, or are wondering what to do if somebody else is running the meeting poorly, Please join us next week. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming and participating in our discussion of what managers need to know. You can find the videos of this and previous sessions on my YouTube channel or under events on my LinkedIn profile. I'll look forward to seeing you again next week.
Get the skills, be the boss. No more time to feel lost. Lead the way every day. Find success, it's here to stay. Get the skills, be the boss. No more time to feel lost. Lead the way every day. Find success, it's here to stay. It's here to stay. Oh, it's here to stay. It's here to stay. Yeah. Get the skills, be the boss. No more time to feel lost.